Hi everyone, it's Jerry. I'm on chess.com, and I just got paired up playing a 5-0 game. Let's try Caro-Kann. Alright, advanced variation. Okay, I'm happy so far. Mission accomplished with my bad bishop. It's a little bit awkward to complete queenside deployment because of the control over f6. I guess they're shooting for a quick bishop a3. Alright, let's break. That was a really fast move. I thought they had another reasonable option of bishop a3 or even c4 straight away. Okay, well c4 now. I think I have to take here first. That's an interesting possibility, though at the end if the queen recaptures I have this. So it's opening up quite a bit. I think I have to get rid of this guy. I don't want to see this. I need to make sure that c5 opens up. Have anything better? Probably not. And I probably have to take on d4 if knight takes because of this punch at f6. Yeah, if I do something like this, there's probably a sacrifice. I wonder if I'm able to even complete development here, come to think of it. Because this is hitting really, really, really fast. Huh. Okay, well, let's start with this, actually. My mistake. My mistake. I could play bishop c5 with tempo and then get castled. So I think I'm okay. I think the worst has passed. Let's get castles in. Do I have anything better? I don't think so. Queen on e7, I think she could rely upon that home. I'd like to have the knights exchanged. My knight's kind of stupid, so let's get him here with a punch. Maybe get a dark square bishop exchange. I know this is my better bishop, but I think with more exchanges, this will turn out to be a liability. If I could get one more pair of minor pieces exchanged like this, happy to see that move. I probably just take. I know I'm inviting that rook forward, but just gonna have to deal with that and contest this only open file. Well, there's two open files. And we still need flight squares, each of us. Do I have anything better? I'm considering, yeah, let's take. I was considering taking the knight and then dropping here. I'd like these two to be exchanged. They're playing very, very, very fast. All right, let's still go with this. Queen takes. I could box the knight out for when he arrives on e4. And then play my knight into d7. So there's a mini battle going on over the d5 square. Okay. They're ready to take my rook and then take on b7, I think. Although, or even, no, this isn't an idea just yet. Try to take advantage of my back rank. Can I get in bishop to b4? Bishop b4, rook takes, rook, queen takes, pawn. I take the knight and then go in for a back ranker. Any other variation to consider? I don't think so. I'm going to go with this. No, what am I talking about? They take my rook and then take my bishop. No thanks. Alright, let's go with this. I'm still hoping one day for a good knight versus bad bishop situation, so maybe now I play this move. Yeah, right now I do this. Yes, and then I'm going to superglue my knight on d5. So I have to catch up time-wise. I've consolidated, I think. Let's get a flight square, or not just yet. Let's get to this open file. My knight's not going anywhere. Even if the knights are exchanged, I have an instance of good versus bad bishop. Queen here? Trying to get in here. Okay, let's, do I have any forward moves? I don't think so. Let's just stick around right here. As mentioned, my bishop controls their knight. So queen here is the only thing. I could maybe just go to c8 to stop queen to e8. Maybe queen c6 instead of producing a flight square first. Yeah, no, I don't want to see knight g5 and then converging on this square. I don't want to have to do this and weaken, create a hole on f6, so this is pretty standard. Now I'm opposite their king, and I stop queen to b5. I have control over this, but can I really convert it? Computer would probably say equal, giving some weight to this, but I would prefer to play as black here. 125. I guess they're preparing a queen exchange like this, and then if I take, they have split pawns, but my knight has to find a new home. Wonder if I could inch my king over here. Yeah, that's what they're gunning for. I'm gonna decline that. Still keep the queens around. I think this king is maybe something I could take advantage of still. So let's see. I have to be on the lookout for this kind of capture and the diagonal opening up. Like this move combined with this, I won't be able to take twice on a d6. We'll see. Oh, they're dropping a pawn, right? What's wrong with snipping this guy? They gave me a pawn there. Alright. I guess I have to take here. Now I'm okay with an exchange of queens. Maybe my knight could be in a better spot. Alright, let's try this endgame. My pawns are split, but I'm up a pawn. Can I hang on to him, though? Maybe I can't. Queen to d6. The knight's going to arrive there, but don't I have some checks right around this point? Shouldn't they be a little bit scared of me attacking? Pressure on the knight. This is a threat to pick up the knight. They have a check. I just go here. I only have 42 seconds, though. How about we start with this? Now, the queen isn't unprotected. I was thinking I have something like that. But maybe I'm setting it up now? I have to be on the lookout, because they have this kind of stuff with knight to f8. Is knight to e3 a threat, though? Let's repeat for a moment. I might have to just take the draw. Yeah, I don't like to do this, but I'm going to have to go for repetition here. I've wasted a bit too much time. Are they going to maybe go for more? I'm going to take the draw here. Yeah, I'm not going to risk it with just 16 seconds. There's still a lot more to work out here. I was thinking of doing this, but at the same time, White's counterplay is coming pretty fast if I don't go for this repetition. I know I'm up a pawn, but it's a long way off before these guys get rolling. And we know how dangerous a queen and knight combo can be. So if I try to do the intended move like this to, I don't know, try to infiltrate like this, making use of e2, there's check this, and there's already at least a perpetual check idea that White has. Maybe they have even more, but this would be a perpetual check idea. Well, I like how I played the opening. Of course, it took a good chunk of time to get the position that I did. But let's see. What to really add? Yeah, things got pretty sharp here with this c4 idea. Yeah. And I think I was just in time to get development in. I don't know why I was blind to bishop c5 and being able to castle. I thought I was in trouble right around here. I didn't voice it, but I was thinking about a6 just to stop bishop to b5. But they gift me a pawn, and I wonder right around here if I could have maybe converted this better. They gave me a pawn, but could I have forced this kind of exchange somehow? Nearly blundered. At this point with bishop here, yeah, at this point bishop here would be losing because of that. Spent a good chunk of time on that position. But yeah, I don't know how I could have maybe done better, especially if they didn't give me a pawn. It was tough. There was a little battle over the d5 square, but I couldn't quite pull off some bishop for knight exchange and then obtain a good knight versus bishop, but we'll see if the computer says otherwise. Okay, this is where I want to be with the engine on board. So advanced Caro-Kann, calling this the short variation. Okay. So yeah, just getting in these standard moves denotes this from the advanced variation. An emphasis on kingside deployment, in other words. And eventually my king knight is pretending to be a queen knight, arriving on c6 in this game. So is it okay to do this c5 move? It's okay with it. I felt like this was maybe a little bit off to play bishop to b2. Right around this point I felt comfortable. And I think I have officially equalized right around this stage. Computer agrees. Suggesting c4. That didn't. Oh, it's white's move. Back to basics. Okay, yeah. I was wondering, why would c4 be a good move? Okay, yeah, white plays c4 here, and things get pretty opened. Chop. Yeah, so he turns out not to be such a great piece. Did I respond properly here? I thought you have to take here first, because this would be too damaging. If this c-pawn can make my kingside structure flinch, or really the e-pawn flinch, then well, how to say this exactly? If the c-pawn is exchanged for my e-pawn and their e-pawn as a result becomes mobile, that's a problem. I don't want to give this pawn the possibility to move. So let's take him out. Sometimes you could see this reaction, but it's not working in this specific case. Because, well, I thought at least there's bishop to e6, but another suggestion is to offer a queen exchange, and actually that would force a queen exchange, which is nice. Okay, so they don't have time for this. They recaptured with the bishop. That's best, especially since I can take here next. Taking with the pawn, there'd be a wounded duck here on c4. Isolated pawns on the queen side, so piece recapture is called for. Bishop takes c4 it is, and it's just an equal position. And I'm pretty sure I have to take on d4 because I don't want to see this advance. Computer suggests, did pop up bishop e7, but now it wants to take. And I did. Chop, chop, chop. Queen takes. And bishop c5, we just have an equal position, so how could I maybe play the middle game a little bit better? Queen f4 is good. He's a really good defender for my king side, but right around this point I didn't feel as though there would be any attack against my king. Just get on with castles. Pretty normal. So too is knight c3. Is it like this maneuver? I don't see any other way to really go with my knight. And this is a whole white can't control d5 anymore, so, and I am getting to b6 with tempo, so it does like knight b6. Insert that rook move first, queen e7. Now wants to go with, did I see that right? Knight to b5. Tough to gauge. Ooh, bishop d5. Computer-esque. Yeah. Pressure on f5 if I'm taking like this. Okay, well, the more human-like move on board, bishop d3. That's a welcome exchange. I know I'm helping out the rook just a hair, but at this point, I don't see there being enough of a lead, like enough of a mobilization of white's forces where, that would be an issue. me helping their rook improve just a little bit. And rook there. Were there any tactics missed? I don't think so. One rook is off. I have to just get on with getting my last piece working. So right around here, can I do something different? It wants to hold ground on the d file. I just took, right? Let's just step up and then maybe queen to d8 and control this file. Oh, here, you know what? Here's another train of thought I could have had right around this point. By taking here, the queen probably prefers to be on d3 than e4 because it opens up the e4 square for the knight, and this is definitely where he wants to be. There's just not a better square for him. So I guess a hair of an improvement is rook to d7, but it still should just be completely equal right around here. What more? I went h6, bishop to b4. Does it like bishop to b4? I really want to get that exchange in, but they were having none of it. Okay, it does like bishop to b4. And they did a good job of ducking here. Knight e4. This is what I want. I want something like this. Good knight versus bishop. It'll still say it's roughly equal, but there's really no way that black is losing this. You cannot get rid of this knight, and yeah, he ties in much better with the queen, and he's just staring at his own pawn. So no, this isn't there really isn't a good a productive diagonal for the bishop. If I was able to get this exchange in, their bishop is just bad. So knight e4, knight d5. It's just equal, huh? Yeah, that's a good flight square. It also observes the f4 square. Takes away one of the jumping points. So that's the correct one to go forward with. Most common are these moves, but in this specific case, I like the g3 advance. Light square weaknesses. It's not like I have a light square bishop that could take advantage of that. Okay, so queen c7. Oh, they had knight to g5 right here. As soon as I pulled my queen away from watching over g5, okay, it's still going to say it's equal, but as mentioned in the game, I wanted to avoid playing g6 and creating a gap on f6, so I should have been a bit more cautious and went with a flight square here, and only then went elsewhere with my queen. So a flight square would have been better here. They didn't play knight to g5. My bishop has to relocate. And now I went in for h6. Yeah, it's just equal. So what about the position, this final position where I'm up a pawn? They gave me a pawn soon. What's that? Oh, man. There's a tactic. It didn't even cross my mind. Bishop takes h4. Pawn takes, I have knight f4. Why didn't I say to myself that the king is now within checking distance of my knight? Maybe had I said that to myself, that would have made me look a little bit more into this tactic. So there was an opportunity to pick off this guy. Huh. Okay. I went with queen c6. Interesting. King f3, so right around this point, when a c move like that, I'm expecting white to soon follow up with the queen exchange, as otherwise he's kind of a bit too crazy to enter the center of the board if the queens are on the board. Usually you would wait for the queens to be off and then approach with the king, but he's just kind of inching up a little by little. b5, no. It stops this queen c4 move. I went with a6. And now queen c4. I backed off, and then what kind of advantage does it give me here? Yeah, it is a true pawn advantage. Bishop takes a3, so I really don't know. This is a tough position. I don't see how to move forward. I don't gain anything by moving any of my kingside pawns. I really can't do anything with my bishop. We're kind of at a standstill. Bishop negates the knight. My knight is pretty much under control by their pawns and their bishop and pawn over here. Their queen is taking up an active post. It's tough to see how to make forward progress. But after this move, I pick up a pawn. And how could I have maybe converted this with what little time I had? They want to avoid the dark square bishop exchange, bishop to b2 instead. Okay, I just went in for the trade. Queen takes, and they could probably hunt down my pawn here. Yeah, you see, my knight is just way off from hunting him down, and I guess I have to just go here to defend. And their king is pretty fast. Maybe he would end up being lost. Yeah, this pawn over here. And the knight control my king. Pretty good. Yeah, this space advantage is really felt in Endgame. Normally this is a great positive in a middle game position where there's still a lot of pieces on board, but even in this simplified position, knight endgame, it's tricky to work around the e5 pawn. Does a good job. Okay, well, queens remained on board. They did have an opportunity to take them off and split my structure. And now queen c2, so this is winning for me. Knight there, and then what could I do to win? King h7. What's that about? Just anticipating these checks? What about the move I played? Check. Is this another winning idea? No, not so much. Okay, so here, and now what is it suggesting? Suppose they just go pawn hunting. Pick up a pawn and put the knight on a terrible square. What would be the winning idea here? Oh, I'm picking up the pawn and then the knight. Okay, so what about a check? Well, it's not check anymore, but suppose they go in for this idea. What am I doing here? I'm winning the knight. Okay. King h7, is that something I could have come up with in game? Maybe. I am controlling this diagonal. My king is a little bit safer on h7 than g8. Less accessible, let's say, to checks. Okay. For some reason, I was thinking I was able to do some fancy knight move and pick up the queen, but she's protected. Okay, so king h7 would have been better than this check. Let me look one more thing. Suppose white does I don't know, a move like queen. It's tough to even suggest something. She can't go too far because of this pressure. Suppose the king just runs away here. Do I have a knight reposition now? Wants to go with b6, so removing the knight. And then doing what? Making use of this square. Now queen e2. Hitting the knight and then looking for this. So if he tries to get back in the ball game, I don't know, like this, I have knight to e3, and it is a mate in 3. So that's why they were playing king to g1, anticipating my knight to e3 move. King here. We have a mate in 2. Very strong combo of pieces. And here it's just basically mate on g2 wherever the king goes, huh? Yeah. So that was the idea. Try and get my knight on e3, but I had to be a bit more delicate. Make a move like king h7 and then try to uncoordinate their pieces. Tough to pull off with how little time was remaining in this one, but in the final position, where do we stand? After king to g1, is that good? Yeah, it's a fan of king to g1. And this is where we just had repetition. Yeah, I mean, I'm up that pawn, but it's not even a full pawn here, as you're seeing. Yeah, I think that was the best thing that I could have done in this situation. How low on time I was, but I don't like doing that. I usually avoid these draws, the games ending as a draw by repetition, if at all possible. but I think it was the right decision at this point for this game. Okay, well, as usual, feel free to leave any feedback to this video in the comment section below. And I hope you're having a great day, and I will catch you soon. That's all for now. Take care. Bye.